What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Neeks Sports podcast. As you can see, we are enacting social distancing. So, Boris, if you're watching, it's not our fault. It's not our fault. The spread is not. We're doing what we need to do in it. But as they say, the show must go on. So we're doing our podcast from all our humble abodes. How's everyone doing? Everyone corona free?
Of course.
I'll get back to you on that one, bro. I'm not too sure.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah, it's a bit mad out there still. Obviously, in the Premier League, we've got a video on that. Everyone must know the news that the Premier League's been suspended until at least April the 30th, and they will review again to see if it needs to, be suspended any further. But they have made an effort to get the season completed, so it's been extended indefinitely. So we'll see. We could be playing football over the summer, maybe next year, which will still be the 2019-20 season, just to get the season completed. We'll have to see how everything goes. And also, we have some news just before we came on the podcast, actually, that the IOC, the International Olympic Committee, are going to decide within 4 weeks whether to postpone the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. I mean, for me, just based on the location, it's probably one that I thought would have gone a long time ago, but I guess they're giving it time because the Olympics is somewhere around June, July, could be even a bit later than that. But so I guess they're giving it as much time as possible, so it doesn't disrupt, the whole Olympic and athletics calendar. But it is what it is. I'm here with Carl, Ramon, and Nat. And today we are going to be, a bit of a change. There's no, current news in football, so to speak. So we're going to be talking about the best 11 players, the world's best 11 in 2020. And we're going to do a combined 11, combined as much as we can, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of disagreements from start to finish, I'm sure. But we'll see what we can do. And guys, you have to let us know what your best 11 would be, what you disagree, what you agree with us in the comments for whatever you're watching or listening to this. Let's get started. World 11. So first thing we have to do is decide on the formation. Now, there was a call before we went on about, I think Nat was asking for 4-4-2. What was that about?
Nah. Say I don't want 4-4-2, man.
Why not?
No way. It's boring. Route 1 football.
Route 1?
It's too basic, man. It's basic. Over the top to it's dead, man. It's dead.
Is it because
that's less
no Liverpool players getting into a 4-4-2? Nathaniel?
Sorry, I missed that. What did you say?
I said, is it because no Liverpool players will get into a 4-4-2?
Now our players will get into 4-4-2 still. It's just a boring formation, man. I prefer something like 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 or something else.
So what are we going for, Kyle?
I mean, it has to be 4-3-3 for me, anyway. I mean, majority of the teams world football play that, and especially the teams at the top end of the spectrum, like your higher tier teams in the Champions League, the best teams in Spain, England, etc. They play 4-3-3 or a variation of 4-3-3, and they definitely all have players that can play in a 4-3-3 formation. So for me, it would have to be a 4-3-3.
Ramon, is that fine by you? 4-3-3, 4-2?
Yeah, 4-3-3. I can manage that, I guess. Yeah, 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1.
4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. I think you can a player that you might put in a number 10, you might just drag him back into the midfield. So I don't think it should be that much different. Most teams used to play with a single striker, so trying to get that striker in. I mean, I would have got mine already, but let's start from the back. So let's start from the back. Start from goalkeeper. Who is the best goalkeeper in the world? Nathaniel. I'm going to ask Nathaniel first.
Why did you come to me first?
Because I like views of Liverpool fans I love debunking them and throwing them out with with the baby and the bathwater. So
There's a few keepers that I like. Yeah. For example, like Jan Oblak. I'd say probably I like Edison as well, and I like Allison.
oh.
However, the best goalkeeper has to be Allison. I can't lie.
Whoa!
And his academic. Wait! Before you come for me, wait. The accolades that he's won recently, proves my point. It proves my point. So I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know I think he got a Golden Glove for Brazil or something like that. I can't remember. He's got Golden Glove. He's got bare clean sheets. Like he's getting trophies for being a great goalkeeper. So why not Alisson Becker, man?
He definitely had
of course,
brilliant 2019. I think got Golden Glove, Premier League, possibly Champions League. I'm not 100% sure. Possibly Champions League and Copa America as well. So he's definitely got those.
Exactly.
He said.
And plus we won the Club World Cup as well, and man like Alisson, isn't it? He's a part of that team.
So did Origi win it, but we're not going to put him as a number 9.
Might be.
Origi's the best striker in the world.
Oh, maybe we are going to put him as a number 9. Allison, Ramon, you agree, Allison?
Nah, man. I mean, I like Allison. I think he's shown that he's arguably the best goalkeeper in the Premier League. I'm good with that. But with worldwide, for me, he comes second, man. You see, as a goalkeeper myself, my time in between the sticks, I know what makes a good goalkeeper, and I feel like the Champions League game that we had when Liverpool got knocked out against Atletico and beaten on their own turf, it just showed the levels where he is. He's commanding. He comes out. He reads situations. He's a shot stopper. I've heard something like he saved like the last 80 out of the shots he's faced. 80% of them he's actually saved. The most since 2014 for any goalkeeper. Like he's that level. Like things just go to him, and the things that like you might see him save it, and you think good save, maybe not great. Other goalkeepers just ain't, maybe because their frame isn't as big and large as him or whatever, but just not getting down there. They're not making those kind of saves. So you're just like, it makes things look so easy, but he's a massive part of that Atletico back line and the reason why they're so good at not conceding goals. And yeah, he does it on the big occasion. He does it in the little occasions as well. And his presence alone will just make a man just not want to go near him. And I feel like in a day and age where we've had the David De Gea's who sort of slowly falling down the pecking order, and Emmanuel Neuer's, like we're looking at sort of who the next best is. And I think now Jan Oblak states his claim for me, man. And for me, he's the best goalkeeper in the world.
You're quick to mention that you used to be a goalkeeper. I think, is that like a disclaimer for your kick ups with tissue paper? You say
man. You see the thing with that, I know certain men are trying to get onto me on that, but listen, yeah, I'm just trying to show you the technique. As I say, as a goalkeeper, but as a human being, man. But Thierry Henry will be proud of that. The way I kept it up, I had a cat running towards me, launched it, and I don't think you lot saw, but I launched it. There was a goal, and I launched it in the back of the net. So top bins and that.
I'm welly behind that. Kyle, one that hasn't been mentioned just yet, Ter Stegen. Now, some would put him as the best. Obviously, you being a Barcelona fan, especially as in this day and age, playing out from the back is a massive, aspect of a lot of teams nowadays. None more so than Barcelona, and his shot stopping is very good as well. So, where do you stand on Ter Stegen? Is he number one? If he's not number one, where would you put him?
Well, first of all, for me, there's only 4 goalkeepers that could enter the discussion for this position, and that is David De Gea, Ter Stegen, Alisson, and Oblak. No, Edison, Hugo Lloris, them kind of goalkeepers, they are kind of floating around that step below. I don't think that they have any claim to the best goalkeeper in the world right now. And for me, the number one role, the number one job, number one priority for a goalkeeper is to prevent the ball going in the back of the net. So no matter how good you are playing out from the back, be the best at it by a long mile. If not the best at preventing the ball from going back in your net, you're not the best goalkeeper in the world. So Edison could be the absolute greatest at playing out from the back. I mean, I'm not saying he is, he could be. But if you're not levels at preventing the ball from going back in it, that shot stopper ability, then you can't be the best goalkeeper in the world, because for all the fancy playing that you can get 6 assists a season and end up conceding 30 goals a season. I mean, you're not the best goalkeeper, right? Because concede too many goals. And that's kind of where I am at with Ter Stegen. I mean, he may be pretty, maybe fancy playing the ball at the back of the net, playing around the edge of his box, being able to head clear, punch clear, you know, playing risky, kind of like Hugo Lloris in his prime. Like, you know, that very risky goalkeeper. Like, you kind of praise it, but you kind of want more from the shot stopping side of, you know, of the goalkeeper. And for me, that's where I'm at with Ter Stegen.
I think if you stop shot stopper, personally.
I mean, no, he is, but he's not the best. He's not the best. If you were asking me this like 3 years ago, undoubtedly I'd be like, well, it's David De Gea. But over the last couple seasons, I mean, boy, I mean, he's gone missing. He really has gone missing. He's kind of lost his edge. And it's sad to see, but at the same time, it's nice to see.
This guy.
And so that just leaves it between Alisson and Oblak. And I hear where that's coming from, like the season that he had last year. But if you look at it in comparison to the season Oblak had, it actually wasn't better than Oblak's. The only thing that was better than Oblak was the fact that he won trophies. And you ask yourself, why did he win trophies? Well, Liverpool have a far greater team than Atletico. It's not Oblak's fault why Atletico don't go and win the Liga, why they don't go win Champions League. He's doing the best that he can. If we had switched goalkeepers that same year, I can guarantee you Liverpool still would have won what they won. And Alisson wouldn't have made Atletico better than what they were doing last season. If you switch the goalkeepers around, Liverpool would probably be even better. I'm going to be honest with you, Liverpool would probably be even better if they had Oblak and go. They'd be even better. So for me, best goalkeeper has to go to Oblak. He's just, I genuinely think he's levels better than everyone else right now. He's an immense goalkeeper.
I mean, you know, to get Alisson anywhere near the team, I would have to vote for him, and you know that's not going to happen. There will literally have to be no other keepers in the world for Alisson up there. Not because he's not good, but you know I have my own preferences. But no, Alisson deserves to, you know, be spoken among. He deserves to be spoken on the bed. But what I would say for me when it comes to Oblak, and that's the first one I'm going through, is throughout the last, let's say, 5 years, when we're talking about who's the best keeper in the world, whether it's Manuel Neuer, whether it's David De Gea, one person whose name's always around, number 2, number 3, is Oblak. So that means in the last 5 years, he hasn't dropped his level. He's always been around the top 3 keepers in the world. And then you get a David De Gea who comes, and he's brilliant for X amount of time, and now he's dropping off. And then Ter Stegen, who didn't start very well, and now he's, you know, coming to his prime. And we don't know what's going to happen with him in the next couple of years. Alisson, who, you know, he was just over there in Roma, not doing nothing spectacular. And now he's up there. And Oblak's still around, you know, top 2, top 3. So the fact that he has had that consistency for the last 5 years at least, for me, I have to say Oblak. And, you know, we can always talk about Atletico Madrid's defense, that kind of thing, and how good it is. And yes, if we're going to look at, you know, clean sheets and goals conceded, you have to give credit to defense. But his save percentage, that means for all the times that he does get, an opportunity, you might say, as a keeper to make a save, he makes it at a higher rate than the majority of other keepers, if not more than every other keeper. And that's what you can ask for him. Like, you can't fault him for having a good defense in front of him. You cannot ask for you to do his job, and he always does his job. So I think for that consistency, as well as his ability and how he's performing right now, I have to give it to Oblak. So that's Oblak in our team. Go on.
Can I just give an honorary shout out to two players?
Go on.
The pioneer of super keeping, man, like Neuer, the legend himself, and what's his name? Gianluigi Donnarumma.
Oh, Donnarumma. Okay.
Yeah, the kid. He's my age, in it, but like he's up there. He's levels. I think he's gonna be the next big thing. Like soon when we're discussing, huh?
No, I say he could be. I'm not. Yeah, I think he's definitely been touted as the next best keeper on the block.
Yeah, the next time we discuss the best keepers in the world, his name's going to be mentioned. I'm telling you.
That's going to be next week.
Good.
That's going to be next week. We're lacking on topics right now, so if you can put in some stellar performances between now and next week, we can talk about it. Donnarumma, he's definitely up there. But yeah, and Neuer, as a Neuer come and he did his bit. When Neuer was going, Neuer was, he revolutionized that position. But that risk that he has as you get older, sometimes, your reaction of rushing out and those kind of things, he has the instinct to do it, but his reaction and, his speed and all that is going to reduce, and you're going to see more errors. And I've seen in the last few years more errors when it comes to, coming out of his goal. More than say, things like that. But definitely when he was at his peak, he was definitely the best keeper in the world. So only when David De Gea came around where there was a competition for that place. Right back. Who is the best right back in the world? Now, I think it's a tough one. It's a real tough one. Because, no, it's a real tough one. I'm not going to go and put Aaron Wan-Bissaka. I can't do that. I think it's too early. However, the person that a lot of people will put there, or may put there, whether it's in this podcast or elsewhere, there's questions and comparison between that guy and Aaron Wan-Bissaka. So it's like, well, maybe I can talk about him. Maybe I can. Like, I have to say, for me, is there a better defensive right back in the world than Aaron Wan-Bissaka? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no. I think there's no defensive right back in the world better than Wan-Bissaka. Is there better attacking right backs than Wan-Bissaka? I would say there's a lot. There's a lot of attacking right backs than Wan-Bissaka. However, he does get criticized unfairly in time because I've seen him put in a lot of good crosses. And there's been no one there to put in the back of the net. In the last few weeks, you've seen a few people actually put in the back of the net. So if you look at how many chances he's actually creating, he's actually creating more than the numbers of assists will suggest. But again, it's not in the league of a lot of the other fullbacks out there. And in this modern game, you have to have the balance, I think, between the attack and defense. For a specific team, it might be cool. You might say, all right, you just need to defend because our wing is good enough. Or you can attack because the centre back can cover. But I think in the modern game, as an individual position, your fullback need to be able to attack and defend, and he has to work on his attacking. So, honourable shout out to Wan-Bissaka. I ain't putting you there. In the same breath, you have to talk about Trent. And now the difference between him and Wan-Bissaka is that he's actually got, you might say, something to bring to the table. You know how good an attacker he is, set pieces, etc. Brilliant on the ball. Probably the best attacking right back in the world right now. I think that's a fact. Best attacking right back in the world. But his defending leaves a lot to be desired compared to a lot of the other fullbacks. And as I said, you need that balance. In the Liverpool side, it might work more often than not because, they are the best team. And this is going to be a World 11, so you're going to have the best centre-backs next to him, so you can carry him defensively as I would say Liverpool defense has been doing. But as an individual position, his defense is questionable. So I'm gonna have to leave him out. I'm gonna have to. I think I'm gonna have to leave him out. I'm gonna put Joshua Kimmich in there at right back. I think he has got the balance of attack and defense. You know he's got the versatility in terms of playing in midfield, so you can't really question his ability on the ball in that regard. His assist numbers have been, and even goal numbers for a right back have been up there in seasons gone by, last couple of years. And I think he's just got the good balance between both attack and defense. So I'm going to put Joshua Kimmich there. But of course, that decision ain't going to be solely mine. Kyle.
I mean, I hear where you're going with this. I do hear where you're going with this. I mean, I don't even know why we're even giving an honourable shout out to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Wait, was my mic muted? It wasn't.
That was accident.
Okay. Yeah. I don't even know why we're even giving an honourable shout out to Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Guy hasn't done nothing yet, man. He's not yet proven. He's not yet proven. And you know, in my head, it was pretty much the same between Trent and Kimmich. And Kimmich is a lot more versatile than Trent in the sense that he can play more positions, and his overall quality as right back has more depth to it in terms of attacking, defending, being creative, etc. Whereas Trent is more so one-dimensional, whereas he's more just attack. There's very little to his defensive game. So Kimmich is a bit more versatile. However, the quality and level that Trent is at in terms of being able to go forward, attack, and do what he does, the standard is so high that I don't think there's any other fullback out there that is capable of reaching that level, whether it's attacking wise or defensively.
Whoa! So you think that his attacking is better than anyone else's defending?
Yes.
See, I'm gonna disagree with you, and obviously, I'm not saying. Look at this. When you compare how many, it's a bit difficult because the number of crosses he puts in is more than Wan-Bissaka gets tackled. But Wan-Bissaka gets dribbled out. But the number of crosses he puts in and chances he creates compared to the number of times Wan-Bissaka or his percentage of tackles won, I would argue that Wan-Bissaka's defending is better than Trent's attacking. Wan-Bissaka don't get. You can't dribble past Wan-Bissaka.
No, but for me, that's an unfair comparison.
So how are you judging it? How are you saying that? No?
Because when you look at it like that, right? Generally, more often than not, it's a 1v1 in Aaron Wan-Bissaka's case, whereas the player's got the ball and he's having to tackle the player with the ball. And, you know, there might be occasions where he's 2-on-1. There might be two attackers playing about with each other, playing 1-2s and whatnot, and Wan-Bissaka has to do it two of them. But more often than not, it's a 1v1 situation. Whereas with Trent, he's crossing into the box for it to be successful. Generally, you have like a minimum of at least 4 opposition players in the box, and you're trying to pick out one player. It might be Sadio Mane or a Salah or Firmino, like a one, maybe 2 players in the box that you're trying to pick out amongst a crowd of 4 or 5 players. So the accuracy and the precision for it to be successful compared to a 1v1 tackle, for me, that's an unfair comparison.
Right, but then, because my argument would be, what can Wan-Bissaka do more? And if the answer is nothing, then that means no defender could be better defensively than Trent going forward, or even equal to. Because I'm looking at Wan-Bissaka as a fullback, I'm like, defensively, like I don't know. Obviously you can improve as a defender. It might be your position into the, but I don't think Trent's perfect going forward. I don't.
No, I'm not saying it, but I'll give you two. I'll give you two examples. You say where could either of them go? One, for Trent to improve attacking wise, or for Wan-Bissaka to improve defensively. Dani Alves, Philip Lahm, Ashley Cole. Those are three fullbacks I'll give you, all are better defensively and offensively than their counterparts. Like Dani Alves was a better attacker than Trent is right now, hands down. I don't think anyone will argue that. So if you say, "Oh, how can Trent improve?" Look at Dani Alves. If he can get to that level, then he's improved himself. How can Wan-Bissaka improve himself? If he can get as good as Ashley Cole or Philip Lahm, then he's improved himself. So for me, in terms of their levels where they're at, I just think that Trent is better attacking wise than Wan-Bissaka. Yes, they both can still improve, but I just think Trent is better than Wan-Bissaka.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but for me at the right back position, I'm putting Trent there just for how good he is. And like you said, because we're having a world 11, we're expecting our centre backs to be of the highest order, so we can forgive Trent not being the best defender. And for me, he can go at right back.
Fair enough. I'm gonna come to Nat because I think I know his answer, but so I'm like that. Nathaniel Klein, that's your boy, isn't it? What happened to your boy? Or was that your boy, Ramon? Who is it? Both of you, probably.
Nah, for right back, for me, it's between Kimmich and Trent. Like Trent, I think he's 21, so he's still got a lot of like time to develop as a right back. I can tell you for free, Trent is going to be here for a long time. He's going to be the best in the world for a long time. But at the same time, don't roll your eyes, man. But at the same time, yeah. At the same time, Kimmich, like as a right back overall, when I think of a right back, their first job is to defend. For me personally, defend first, attack later. You get me? But like, if I was to pick, I'd pick Trent still because he adds a lot to the game. He adds a lot to the game.
Man's trying to fake.
He adds a lot, like he adds a lot, like going forward, and like obviously he's still young, so he still has time to improve his defending in general. And like, yeah, like he's a baller, bro. Man said corner, I got that. Free kick, I got that. Crosses, I got that. Defending, I'm getting there. That's as soon as he patterns the defending, we don't even need to discuss this. We'll be like, best right back in the world, Trent. That's it. No discussion.
I'm not one for
I don't even know why Wan-Bissaka was even mentioned. Like, I don't know why it was mentioned.
Isn't it? That's what that matters, isn't it?
He's not levels. He's not levels.
I'm not one to follow social media trends, but they call him Prophet Inshallah. Hit and hold. Long things and that you spoke about in the 4-4-2. I think he would benefit from a 4-4-2. Just launch the upfield to the two strikers. There it is. Even more than he's getting more.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think?
Go on.
Do you think Trent will get as good as Dani Alves?
I want him to. I want. Say that again.
I just said he needs to work on his defending.
He does. That's what I said. If Trent works on his defending and he gets that up to scratch, there's no discussion because he can go forward and he can defend. That's it. He's got right back on lock. As long as he gets the defending side sorted, he's there. Like I think he's probably like 75% there. Give him maybe a year or two, and that's it.
That's a reach, man. 75.
Yeah, give him a year or two. He'll be 23 by then. He would have to have developed.
I got a shout. Listen, I know before Ramon comes in, I've got a shout out Kimmich in it because the man has been like Trent's been doing his bit. Yeah, I got to give him that. Been doing it. But don't think that Kimmich weren't putting up these assist numbers 2 years before or a year before Trent. Like we've been putting up these numbers. He has been doing like we haven't won the Champions League in that part. So I think, Trent was a pivotal in Liverpool winning, that Barcelona game, that kind of moment put him on another level, immortalized him in Liverpool fans. That they're going to talk about corner taking quickly for years to come, up there with Gerrard against Olympiacos and everything there. But Kimmich has been getting the assists, he's been getting the numbers. But it's not my decision, is it? Ramon, up to you. I think I might end up with a tie. We'll see.
Yeah, it is a tough one.
You can't be it, by the way. Not this time.
Well, this is the thing, and I feel like no, but I feel like we have to go back to the original discussion that we had. Is it this year? Is it this season?
I think it was this season.
This season, where I said publicly on the podcast that Bellerin is better than Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I need to see more from Trent Alexander-Arnold to say he got that in the locker and stuff. And I feel like I've seen it. I feel like I've seen the development of Trent since that game against Arsenal back in August till now. And I can safely say Trent Alexander-Arnold is a better right back at the moment than Hector Bellerin. Hector's going to improve though, but
the only thing Hector's better than him is in the fashion industry and the Instagram thing.
And that is each to your own if that's what you actually believe. Now, in terms of best right back in the world, this is what, and I had my battle with this. And the reason I had my battle with this, because, before I would have said definitely Joshua Kimmich should go in there with performances for both Bayern and Germany.
Mm.
And then last year, Bayern paid £30 million for a right back. And then I was a bit confused because I thought, so Kimmich is their right back, calm. I literally thought, done. They're done for a good 10 years. Maybe a bit less, maybe about 8 years or whatever. They're good. Like, they had Lahm, he left, Kimmich is here. They're good. They're nice. Then they spent £30 million on Pavard, who had a brilliant World Cup and not quite sure how he was for Stuttgart, but obviously enough for them to spend the money. And then at the time, there was people saying, well, he's going to be the backup right back. They've got Kimmich, and then you've got Pavard, and Pavard's going to slot in as their backup right back. And in this season, Kimmich has played most of his games in DM.
Yeah.
He played 10 games this season at right back for Bayern Munich, and that's only been majority when Pavard's been unavailable.
It's funny because a lot of people say that they think Trent could move into central midfield.
Yeah. So there's that sort of transition period potentially for both of them, for both of them to move. And I think Kimmich is definitely sort of slotted more into the DM sort of role. Then maybe Trent I could see maybe getting a bit more as an attacking minded if it was, but I don't even see that for the time being. So I actually wonder where we'll be in a couple of years with this chat of Kimmich being the best right back because I mean, if we keep the way he's going, and you're saying about his assists this season, the majority of his assists has come as a DM. He's got 2 assists in the right.
That's in the last couple of years.
Yeah, but you said even this season he's got assists coming from where, but the majority has been from DM. And the past 2 years as a right back,
like nearly 20 assists.
He's like a right wing.
Yeah.
And it's a very different type of attacking right back to Trent as well, which is mad because we're now talking about attacking right backs, but then it's a whole different type. It's not a I'm going to get the ball and just whip it like Trent. It's a direct. He will run at you like a winger, and then and feed it in or cut it back. So it's a different type of attacking. I don't think either of them are the best defenders. I see weaknesses in both, and I think that's probably why they probably bought a right back, because I feel like because if Kimmich is getting that many assists at right back, he can't be his attacking faults that Bayern wanted to change. So it must be the fact that his defending isn't as good as maybe they want it to be, and that's why they bought Pavard.
Good. Well, you have to kind of defend him.
Yeah, you have to defend, but they've got players in that position to do that, and he maybe he's just good enough to slot in there, but maybe it's his one-on-ones. I don't know, but they found it wasn't for him. Maybe they see him as a better player there, but as I said, I base my world 11 based on what I've seen in the past few years, not just a one season. And if it was maybe this season, I wouldn't. If it was this season, I probably wouldn't even put him up there as up there because I feel like it's harsh on other right backs. But for me, I'm gonna put Kimmich there as my right back over Trent, just because the past 3 years I've seen it mad in him to do that role on a casual level, and I think Trent is definitely up there, and I think he probably may take that mantelpiece in years to come. I just feel like I'm just going to edge it just to Kimmich as an overall. As an overall.
Okay. So that's a tie. Trent, Kimmich. Nobody went for Wan-Bissaka. I was surprised. But no, you didn't back. No, anyway. You lot, let us know in the comments below who you would have as your right back. One centre back, I think we can all agree on Van Dijk. Any objections?
No, I'll edge him. I'll edge him in there.
Edge him. What, ahead of Mustafi? Okay, so Van Dijk's in. And who is the other one? I'm going to come to Ramon first.
Me, yeah? Again, it's another tough one because really and truly, since the emergence of Van Dijk, I don't think there's been another one to state the mantelpiece to say that I'm the next best. I think De Ligt came in and it looked like he was going to just rise to the cream of the crop. Went to Juve, hasn't really had the best season at Juve. Kind of been floating in different positions. So for me, I've just got to go with the King Sergio Ramos, because it's a big call. Don't get me wrong, it's a big call. And we can all say, he's not had his best season this year, getting on a bit. But again, it's more than that for me. It's about what he brings to that Real Madrid team, and he brings a level of leadership at the back that I feel like if he wasn't there, they'd be in a horrible position. And the fact that he is there is a big part of why they're still up there at the top of the league for me. I feel like I wanted more from Varane that I'm seeing, and I feel like I thought by now he'd probably stake his claim as the best in the world. Like I thought, from when he come from, and his performances started to drop, and it confused me in that sense for Real Madrid as a team pushing forward. And as I said, there's other defenders there, Koulibaly, but for me, I don't know what it is. Every time I see Koulibaly, I'm not as impressed as the best centre back in the world. I just don't see it in him. But when I see Sergio Ramos play football, and the hunger he shows to defend, and the composure he shows to score penalties for the
Are you putting him on pens?
Pardon?
Are you putting him on pens?
Well, the man is he's a goal scorer from the spot. Like we could talk about why is he taking penalties, but he puts them in the back of the net. And as I said, there are other players, and this is arguably one of the best teams ever in the world that we've ever seen. One of them, the Galacticos, and your centre back is taking a penalty kicks, but he's burying them. He's got 7 goals this season for Real Madrid. Like he's a goal scorer as well. So you have to give him that. You can't just say, oh yeah, but let's take that out, because no one else takes penalties. But he steps up and takes them, and he says, Benzema mind out, Hazard mind out, Bale mind out. This is mine. I'm taking it. I'm the boss here. And I feel like there's a level of leadership that he shows in that Real Madrid team that I feel like when he goes, it's going to be a mad thing. Like it's actually, to replace him is going to be mad. And you could say that maybe I'm putting him there on legacy, but there's not one defender for me that has said, I am now better than Sergio Ramos. And apart from Van Dijk, because I feel like Van Dijk's probably said that, but apart from Van Dijk, and I'm looking back to that Champions League final as well, and I'm thinking, damn, like since then, no one's really told me that I'm better than you. So, if you can fight me the cause and show me, like, listen, I can tell you he's better than Sergio Ramos, X, Y, and Z. Your Tim.
I know Ron has a soft spot for old players. He always drags one up from the.
Don't forget them, man. Don't forget them, man.
You make a good point. Definitely on the Varane one, I would love to have put him up there, but it's like, yeah, you won the World Cup. Yeah, you're playing at Real Madrid. But how much was that about you? and I don't see it. I don't see him being that. You know, and you don't have to be you don't have to shout. You're next to Ramos, cool. But you take, for example, Vidic and Rio. They're playing next to each other. Both of them are leaders in their own right. It doesn't mean just because one's a leader, the other one shouldn't be a leader. You know, and I don't get that from him. You know, he's 26. Yes, he's still got. You know, Ramos is 33, so you could say this man's still got another 7 years to get to where we're talking about Ramos now. But at 26. Ramos was leading.
Yeah.
And yeah, everyone has different characters. So I would love to put Varane. I wouldn't put Varane there. You make a good point for Ramos. I'm not gonna. I hear you fully. I'm not even gonna disagree with you per se. I don't think anything you said is wrong, but I just think, in terms of ability. Right now, as a centre back, I would put Koulibaly ahead of him. Now, yeah, you might not have the leadership that Ramos has, and not to say that he's a bad leader. You might not have the same clutch moments, goal scoring wise, with his head or his feet that Ramos has. But I think as a defender, Ramos, in comparison, and I guess it's the way that he plays, he is prone to an error because of his rash nature. So when I say error, it doesn't necessarily mean he missed the ball or anything like that, but an error in terms of giving away free kicks in dangerous positions or getting sent off, yellow cards, and those kind of things that everyone knows that's Ramos, isn't it? But when we talk about speed, I wouldn't not necessarily ability on the ball, but tackling, the attributes that lead to defender, I would put Koulibaly ahead of him. Even to an extent, positioning wise, I think Ramos, because of his physical nature, he isn't exposed as much as someone who wasn't, say, as quick as him might be. But that's not spite on him. He's as quick as what he is, and you can't take that away from him. But I just think, as a attributes for a defender, I would prefer to have Koulibaly. And I think even the game that we saw Liverpool against Napoli, or was that Napoli against Liverpool? I can't remember where the game was now. And he was immense. He was immense in that game. I think it was the away game. I can't remember now. Or the home game. But he was brilliant. And no, he's not Van Dijk's level, but I think for the last couple of years at least, for me, I've said he is that top 2 centre backs in the world. So personally, I'm going Koulibaly. Kyle?
See, I hear what everyone's saying. I mean, the centre backs, I name him, they're in my head, they're in my thoughts. And I've been, fighting who I'm going to give my second position to. Although, obviously, we can all agree that Van Dijk's the best centre back in the world. But it just goes to show, one, how much levels Van Dijk is above everyone else. And two, how close everyone else is to each other. Why the second place is probably going to go to a 4-way split, because I'm not going to pick anyone that YouTube said, and I hell sure know that Nats was going to pick some random dude. For me, the guy that I'm going with, right, has shown his quality over the past, for me anyway, 2-3 years. And this season, we've shown how much the team has missed his presence. They've had injuries in the past where players have been out for the season, and none has been as impactful as this player. And for that reason, and just for the quality that he's shown, for me, Laporte is the second best centre back in the world. I think is next best. And just him being out this season has just shown how much of a, because we all said, Stones ain't that great. Yeah, he might be decent on the ball, but defensively, he's not that great. Otamendi, defensively, he's not that great. And together, they're such a calamity that Pep has had to put his central midfielder at centre-back because he can't trust either of them. But when Laporte plays, they look that much more stable, to the point where if you take Van Dijk out of Liverpool's team, you see how much more, even if they've got Robertson and Trent playing, you see how nice that Liverpool backline is because Van Dijk's not there. And it's the same with Laporte. He hasn't been there this season. And we've seen just how miserable of a backline they are this season just because he's solely not there. So he is as important to that team as Van Dijk. And it just shows how much quality he actually brings. And sometimes, you know, people say, oh, you got until it's gone. But that was the case with Man City. They didn't know what they had until he was gone. They missed out on signing Maguire. And then now Laporte gets injured for the season and it's gone absolutely tits up. Their season's gone literally to the wayside. And for me, it's solely because Laporte got injured. If Laporte, he's saving them an extra 20 points this season, easily.
Or is it the company?
So for me,
yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is it company? Is company the second best defender in the world? Because they threw him into the team.
Because but how many games did company play that season? I mean, when I say play, I mean start. How many games start?
But in the running, they called upon him, and man came up trumps.
And this is what I talk about leadership. This is what I talk about the centre back being that mantelpiece where you sometimes it's about having a presence in there. And we know company lost a bit of pace. We know Lee lost a bit of we know he was injured all the time. But his presence in there was just scary, man. And I feel like when teams come up against Real Madrid, not to beat my drum about Ramos, but his presence in there alone just makes it that much of a game, just because it's pure heart. And I feel like Man City miss out. Man City they've obviously missed the quality of Laporte being there, but the presence of company, even if they had Laporte this season, the presence of company alone, man, they missed that a lot, man.
No, I hear you, and it might even just be the case where just being in the dressing room. No, I do agree because really and truly, company was cool back into the season, but we're forgetting that Man City had a whole season prior to that, and it was mainly either Stones or Otamendi alongside Laporte for most of the season, and company was called upon at the back end of the season, and it just goes because if it was company was called upon at the back end of the season, but could Man City still done what they have done? No, I don't think that they could have. I don't think that they could have. It wouldn't have. It wouldn't have worked. It just wouldn't have worked. Yeah, and for me, that's my reason as why I'm putting Laporte as second best and Van Dijk in this formation.
Nathaniel, maybe the deciding vote is yours. Maybe depending on who you go for.
Big choice.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna say anybody that you lot have mentioned because second best
You got
centre back. Huh?
You're going to love him, aren't you?
I am.
Oh,
Man, like, hey, I love Fred.
Oh, he's not.
My God. No.
Gracious
Be
finest.
serious. No. So for once in your life, Nat, be serious, man. Please.
I'm joking. I'm joking. To be honest, yeah. Initially, when I thought about it, I was like Van Dijk, and then who's next to him? And I was like De Ligt. Then I was like, wait, De Ligt's he hasn't had much of a great season at is it Juventus?
Mm.
And then I was like, wait, who's after that? Then I was like Varane. I was like, maybe Varane, you know? And then I was like, he hasn't had much of a great season either. So I was like, who am I gonna pick? I even thought, what's that guy's name that plays for Bayern? Nicolas Sule as well. I thought of him as well. I was like, he's been alright. But can't lie, Ramon, I'm gonna have to back you still because Ramos, as much as I don't like the guy for what he did to Salah, you know, doing wrestling on the football pitch, yeah,
leadership.
Him doing that just shows his experience, bro. He knew what he was doing, bro. Like, just in general, some of these red cards that Ramos gets here, I know he knows what he's doing. It's just to help the team, even though they'll go one man down. It still benefits, you know. He stops a goal from being scored or he injures a player or something like that. So he don't mind. Take one for the team. Like Ramon says, he scores penalties like it's nothing, bro. And he scores when he has to. When his team needs him, he leads the team from the defense, bro. He will be at centre back, shouting at his striker, saying, "Go do what you're supposed to do. Go score. Get on the ball." Ramos does what he has to do, man. So, other than that Salah situation, yeah, I can't lie. Ramos and Van Dijk, it's an ideal pairing still.
Okay, all right. So, all right, Trent. No, it's Trent or Kimmich. Ramos and Van Dijk, left back. I'm gonna come to Carl first. Left back. Who would you go for?
Well, this one has had me puzzled for that. Since you mentioned name your goalkeeper. Every single position I've been thinking, who am I going to say for left back? Who am I going to say for left back? Because this one has had me puzzled. I'm not going to lie to you. Puzzled.
It's not hard.
No, it is that hard. I'm telling you, it is that hard. Because if we just go and just say, "Oh, Robertson is the best left back," right? And we've all just said how great Trent is, and we all and I think for most people, when I say, we all think that Trent is better than Robertson. Then how are we going to have
overall?
How are we going to have?
I don't know. Anyway, carry on. I'm not sure. But go on.
Whoa. Then how are we going to have our left back not as good as our right back? Like it's the current world 11. Every player has to be as good as one another in every division. So Oblak's as good as Van Dijk is, or Oblak's as good as whoever we're going to put in centre mid in their respect.
But that's only if you've got a player in that position who is as good.
I think that
exists.
I think at every junction of football, every decade, every 5 years, every year, that there should be, and I think that there is. So the left back, that, you know what, man, I don't even know, bro, man. Nah, man, it's not even funny. It's so difficult.
Nathaniel, you come in with your left back. I mean, I think we know based on what you said, but go on.
I can easily say, the Scottish Roberto Carlos, man like Robertson, but I can also say I watched one guy the other day. What's his name? Alphonso Davies. Yeah, Davies. What his name?
Yeah, Davies.
He cold. He's good. He's got hella potential, and he's young as well. Like you can throw in what's his name, Alexandro as well.
Luke Shaw.
So he's all right. Who?
Luke Shaw.
Sorry, your signal's moving a bit. I can't hear you still. Yeah, no, like it's easy to say Robertson, but like I don't know, like who else is there really?
Ramon?
Like, if we're being honest, like, are we gonna say Zinchenko or something like that? Like,
you can say Zinchenko. That's up to you.
I'm gonna say, what's his name? I'm gonna say Alonso. Like, who's the Arsenal left back? I don't even know.
Don't worry about that.
There's no
Saka.
Exactly. Wait, who's Barca's left back? Is it still Jordi Alba?
Yeah, bro.
Bill.
Yeah.
Damn. Right.
Come on, come in.
Really no left back on the earth,
Yeah, for me, it's a tough one. I understand what Carl's saying, but to an extent, I also disagree. I think in terms of the sort of Robertson Trent, I think I'll probably say Robertson's a better overall fullback in terms of what he offers going forward, defending, and yeah, maybe there's one or two areas that he hasn't maybe got the whip or whatever. But as an overall, I think I'd probably prefer him over Trent as a fullback. But yeah, it's another tough position, and there isn't maybe a clear winner, which is I think the struggle we got. There was that Hernandez at Bayern looked what one stage he was about to step up after the World Cup. He got injured, and then as I said, now look at Bayern, they got two sick fullbacks. Alaba's there as well. as well as Davis. So, but yeah, for me, I'm convinced in my answer. It's Andrew Robertson. It's actually Andrew Robertson. I genuinely think he's the best left back in the world. I genuinely think watching him week in, week out, I see barely any mistakes from him. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's bombing up and down the wing. Got Liverpool, was brilliant in the Champions League for Liverpool in their run last year and this year. And he can handle himself in these situations, and he showed it when they won a Champions League against Barcelona, especially in that second leg. And for me that was a big thing, because I at the time had Jordi Alba was up there as one of the best with Marcelo at the time, and then he came out of nowhere, Robertson, in that semi-final, and for me bossed it against Alba, who looked like he was on edge the whole time. And yeah, Marcelo sort of losing his place a bit in Real Madrid squad to the new brother, Mendy. And yeah, so for me, Andrew Robertson is the best left back in the world.
Yeah, I'll have to agree. I think for me, it was between Robertson and Jordi Alba. And I respect Jordi Alba because, you know, I've never put him as the best left back in the world at any single season. I've never done it. We've had this discussion before. I've never done it. And every time, like, if you do that, Marcelo comes true. And the last, like, when Barcelona we were winning 3 Champions Leagues in a row, I'm like, and Marcelo's, like I said, they're one of the most, if not the most important attacking outlet other than Ronaldo. How can I leave Marcelo out? And he's, you know, both of them are not great defensively, but Marcelo's better than Alba defensively. So I know single point have I put Alba as the best, but I know a lot of people have, and that's fair enough, isn't it? But I think as an overall fullback, same thing I spoke about for the right back, going forward and defensively, I think Robertson is complete. He's a complete fullback. And for me, I would have to put him there. I don't think Jordi Alba is a complete fullback. I think he's an attacking fullback who's got pace. Robertson, for me, is a good defender and he's a good attacker. So it wasn't easy. I'm not going to lie. I literally just made a decision right now. I'm like, oh, because Alba's link out with Messi is mad. But then, I mean, if you're a quality left back or fullback, your link up with Messi should be. Like, it's Messi, isn't it? You just have to kind of do your part. And it's, but I have to respect his link up with Messi is mad. But yeah, Robertson, last 2.5 years, he's been so I'll give it to him.
Shout out Marcelo then, because he's been a stell in there for years. And
only this season. It's only because of this season why I'm not putting Marcelo. He's only played like 10 league games.
But as a left back, Marcelo is for me, he's kind of like Trent, because he's a liability. Sometimes he's a liability. No, wait, he's a bit of a liability when it comes to the defending, because Real Madrid will, for example, go up and attack here. They've lost the ball. The other team's countering. Marcelo's still having a conversation with the goalkeeper. he's still up there, and it's like. He's frustrating to watch sometimes. It's just like Trent. Sometimes I'm watching him play. He's gone up. He's whipped in the cross. It's flopped. He's still up there at the corner flag. Like, get back and defend.
I heard that.
That's why personally, like, Robertson, like, is the overall, like, as a fullback, perfect, bro.
So you go Robertson.
But yeah, I'm picking Robertson as my left back. But I was just saying, like, earlier when I was saying, like, earlier it was. What I wanted to say was, like, who else is there? Like, what other left backs are there? Like, are we only stuck with one option? Like, basically, that's what I wanted to. The point I was trying to make.
Kyle, I mean, you know, a nominal vote. You know, 3 got Robertson already, but who would you go with?
I'm just surprised that no one has mentioned Benjamin Mendy.
I'm surprised that you took so long for you to mention it.
Surprised no one mentioned the big BM. I mean,
he's always
do we get any better than Benjamin? That is the question. But yeah, not to be the odd one out here, the only ducking, I'm just gonna go with Robertson. Just seems to be the right choice here. But yeah, it wasn't easy. Like I said, there's a host of left backs: Benjamin Mendy, Alba, Jordi Alba, host of them. But yeah, I'll give it to Robertson.
This guy's hanging on to Mendy. Listen, pick Ferland Mendy the hell of him, innit?
Nah.
Guys, we come to the end of the first half of this podcast, the World 11. And at the moment, as our back five, we have Oblak, Kimmich or Trent as the right back, Ramos, Van Dijk as the centre back, and Robertson as our left back. Make sure you tune in tomorrow for the second half of our World 11.